Hello everyone, this is Josh Oakes from Media Leaders. I'm really excited on this video to discuss 7 business development tips for startups, and I have Nick Smoot on the video with us today. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for being here today. Now, you're the founder and CMO of Here on Biz, a startup. Tell me what Here on Biz does and what your role is there.
Yeah, we realized there was a problem in the business professional community that you could not stay in touch with your network as you traveled about effectively. And so it's a product that alerts people when you come into town for business. You can chat with them, and we also assess data about you that's public domain and then make intelligent introductions. So it's a really useful tool for the professional community. And at that company, my job is anything from getting new users, being in the press, aligning new strategic partnerships, the BD side of everything, funding, all that jazz. My partner, he's the technical guy, so it's just the two of us right now still.
Now, this isn't your first startup, though. You've done this before.
Correct, I have.
Yeah, and you sold your last startup. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good time. Same partner, and so we didn't kill each other in the last one, so we figured after the buyout we'd do it again.
Yeah, so that's why I'm excited to have you on here today. You're a doer. You're not a talker. We have a lot of similar interests. You're not a buzzword kind of guy. You're the actual hardworking guy with the shovel digging the ditches. Let's walk us through what you're going to teach us today, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we're going to talk a little bit about just very useful business development tips. We have 7 of them and a bonus one at the end for startups. And one is know your story. 2, know who gives a damn. 3, look at your past to identify advisors, because that's a key piece to business development is your advisory team. 4 is create the unicorn list of companies and clients that you want to have. So it's kind of your goals for BD. And then contact the early unicorn list users of your product. Know what publications your clients read, your unicorns as well. And 7, how to contact those key players from the companies that you're on your list.
Great, and then the bonus for those of you that hang out to the very end, he's going to show you a couple techniques how he's gotten placed in the very biggest of publications, which is pretty cool. So let's jump right on into it. Talk to us about step number 1, knowing our story.
Yeah, you need to really understand what are you actually doing, because a lot of times I hear startups talk about their value proposition and it's missing what the public wants. And when I say what is my real value proposition, you need to ask people outside of yourself of what you're building. There's a whole company, J. Walter Thompson, JWT. It's one of the world's largest and oldest branding agencies. They have a whole division that is dedicated just to working with major corporations, large companies that you think would have probably, people that are in their marketing departments that could do this, but they bring them in just to refine what is their story, what is their true value proposition, because a lot of times we don't really understand it well in these companies. We get so focused on creating the cool idea. Once you understand what your real value proposition is, you got to ask the question of how are you communicating that? Are you really stating it in a simple form that people get it? I do this myself as well. As I get so caught up in telling about my company, I forget to make it simple and communicate the value proposition as easy as possible. And more importantly than just myself, how is my team communicating that? Because if you can understand your value proposition and your team is talking about it appropriately, you are talking about it appropriately, your website is talking about it appropriately, it's in every tweet appropriately, it's on every video appropriately, you've already started doing a key piece to business development, which is letting people know who you are and what really is the value. Because you could be talking about something completely out in left field to what your true value is that the public really enjoys. I see this a lot of times when I go to startup mixers and I'll ask people, so, what are you working on? Because I like to help people, and I love that. And they'll tell me their idea, and I'll say something. So really, that's really important for this group over here, man, and it's going to fix this problem for them in a huge way. And, one group, they were telling me about a shovel that they were creating. This is a kind of an anecdotal story. And the shovel was, going to help the back of this person and all these great things. And it's going to be great. We're trying to get into Home Depot. And all of a sudden I realized, why are they trying to get into Home Depot? Really, at the end of the day, Most people at Home Depot are there just trying to buy the cheapest thing to just hammer out the deal. Who cares if they break their back?
Mm-hmm.
Really, what they need to get into is like Whole Foods. And they need to be selling this ergonomic shovel in Whole Foods as opposed to Home Depot, and
Mm-hmm.
understanding who really wants it, and what's the true value proposition along the way.
So true. And then, how does my team communicate that?
Hmm.
Do you have any tricks there? Do you have any like tactical? In fact, tell me
Yeah,
what is your value proposition at Here on Biz?
yeah. We help you not miss opportunities. That's it. As simple as that is, as a business professional, we help you identify opportunity. It's the trick. Funny enough, you'll hear it enough from people who start using your product if you're in early stages about what they love about it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's what they love. That's kind of our value.
Mm-hmm.
But some other tricks, I guess, maybe that Alan and I, my partner and I, will do is we revisit it probably at least once every 2 months about how are we communicating it, and we've changed it multiple times on our website. We've changed it in our deck. One of the key pieces is we have a person that's close to us, an advisor that he's outside eyes. We'll talk about the advisory team in a bit, but his job with our company literally is to help us understand our story effectively. He does this for big companies and CEOs. So I'd say get help. That's
Yeah.
a great trick. Get help, because a lot of times as a founder, you're not going to communicate it well. And you shouldn't be paying somebody a ton of money to do it. If you can find an advisor that's really good at it, sure, they're worth some equity to help you refine this. Because if your story's not tight and really about your true value, you're in trouble. Because you're just going to spin around throwing darts blindfolded, and you want to have sheer focus on what that true value is. So I'd say find someone who's just really understands it and ask them to help you kind of talk through it. Storyboarding always helps as well, writing out all the different values you feel like you have. I've done this actually funny enough, for nonprofits that had to do with identifying your family values.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we did that I thought was useful, and it works for these companies as well, is just write out every value word that you feel like you want for your family. It was with the nonprofits, but for your company, write out the values. What does it do? What does it solve? And just keep writing. Don't worry about being redundant. Don't worry about, well, this word's kind of like this one over here. Just write. Go get a piece of paper and write them all out. And then at the end, start putting them into categories and chunking them all together. And once you have them refined down to, if you wrote out 50 of them, refined to maybe like 2 or 3 categories, you can come up with overriding words, and then take that to somebody you trust and know and say, hey, look, does this really define who we are? Are these words about what my company's about?
Wow, that's pretty powerful. I like that trick. That's a good one.
Thanks.
Talk to us about the next step. Know who gives a damn.
Yeah. After you've understood what your value proposition is, you need to understand who cares, who gives a damn. Because too many times people think everyone gives a damn. And reality of it is, open your eyes. The world doesn't give a damn about you. That's the truth. Too many people, I think, through the great world of social media narcissism, I think we think everybody thinks we're special. But really, and then we have this enjoyment of seeing these companies that change the world. But really, even at the end of the day, not everyone uses Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, realize that. Even though everyone thinks it's the coolest thing, not everyone uses Facebook. Not everyone even uses Google. Like, I know that's hard to believe, but most of the world does, but not everyone. So I doubt your idea is as good as Facebook or Google, just to be right up front with you.
Yeah.
I know that about us. So some ways to go about it that you definitely need to do is ask questions to qualify. So if you have an idea of, here's our value proposition, you have people around you who you think meet that mark, share your value proposition with them. And if they're not getting it, either you're communicating it poorly, or guess what? They don't give a damn. So if you feel like you're doing a good job communicating it and they're like, it's not a big deal. That's not the right person that you need to be communicating with or trying to sell to or get to consume your product. You need to know that person who loves what you're doing.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And it seems as though you don't want to, and we see a lot of people trying to sell.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't understand. Oh, I need to stay here and sell.
Yeah.
But
They want to beat them over the head.
Yeah, so it sounds like you just kind of want to move on. Hey, you don't get it? No worries. We'll put you on the email list and we'll show you use cases in the future, but we'd love to have you someday try it out, but we got to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I dealt with this personally with a company here in Los Angeles that the president of the company, and this is a funny one, so the president of the company thinks what we're doing is awesome and wants the product used. but some guy who does some of their day-to-day management around some of the technical things, he doesn't get it. And so he was opposing me literally at every corner. Like, I'd explain why this makes sense and why the president of the company thinks this is a win. And he'd come back with his rebuttals over and over and over again. And finally, I started getting frustrated, and I realized I am being baited by this guy. I need to stop, because honestly, in the grand scheme of things, this guy in this company is a nobody. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like sometimes as entrepreneurs, we treat every single opportunity as like it is the golden ticket. And we really need to understand not everyone is the golden ticket. So it's okay just to move on. Even if the president of the company is saying, look, I want this used, like, just move on. Mm-hmm. So that was a big one for me. And back to the whole thing of it's not going to impact everybody. You really need to understand that. So when people do oppose you, or someone doesn't think it's a cool idea, don't just go, well, it's a waste of time now, I need to quit, unless you can convince them. Like, just move on. Understand your audience. If you're building a product that you think everyone will use, refine it and understand who truly will use it. There's a market for hemp pants, and not everyone's going to wear the damn hemp pants. I will never be caught in hemp pants. But I bet if you go to some of the farmers markets, you could sell that shit like crazy.
True story. That's hilarious. Walk us through the next step. Look at your past to identify advisors.
Yeah, this is big. And I said this earlier, is the advisors are a key piece to business development. What I mean by that,
I hope you're enjoying this video so far. This has been a preview of the Media Leaders Virtual Conference, where you can learn social media, PR, marketing, and sales. There's 20 plus tactical presentations to build your business. You can learn more about it at MediaLeaders.com, or register using the link below this video, right below it. Maybe it's above it, but probably below. Now, this conference, you're probably asking, why should I even register? Well, don't buy a plane ticket, don't reserve a hotel room, or don't even leave the office, because we're bringing 24 of the best social media, PR, marketing, and sales professionals directly to you, and we call it the Media Leaders Virtual Conference. It's a little bit different. You can register at, like I mentioned, at MediaLeaders.com, or use the link below this video. It's designed for small and mid-sized businesses that want online techniques and real-world business advice that's tactical. We're going to give you 7 tactical tips in less than 45 minutes from each one of our professionals, over 24 presenters, that you're going to get the chance to dive in deep into their subject matter. They're experts in their field, and they're the hardworking people that we admire and that we want to hire here at Media Leaders. You can watch the presentations on your schedule at any time, as long as you want. Also, if you accept our bonus at the end, you get a free copy of my best-selling book, Light, Bright, and Polite. And as if that's not enough, you get a 100% money-back guarantee if you're not 100% satisfied. I hope you'll join us at the Media Leaders Virtual Conference. You can register at MediaLeaders.com, or click the link below this video. I look forward to seeing you at the conference. Have a great day.